How to Play My Will by Primitive Man. For today's lesson, I'm using a First Act Custom Shop DC6. This thing is in G sharp standard tuning, which is the tuning that Primitive Man uses. I'm strung up with a set of 16 to 74 strings here. This was a custom set from Stringjoy. You can see I actually ended up modifying the plain strings here a little bit. 16 and 22 on the first two strings, both plain, and then a wound 28 on the third string, a 44, a 56, and a 74. I've heard Ethan runs 17 to 74 in Primitive Man, so pretty close. This thing is a 25-inch scale length, and I was able to get it to intonate. Today we're playing through this first generation 1974 Sunn Model T. On the floor today, we've got the Acid Rain Pedalworks Judas, designed by Nick Williams, formerly of Dunwich Amplification. Nick does a ton of our circuit design as well. This thing absolutely sounds like opening the gates of hell. When I first unboxed it on Instagram, someone asked if I could use it in a Primitive Man lesson, and once I got to playing with it a bit, I thought it was the perfect fit. Just sounds absolutely vicious. It was designed as the signature pedal for Ted Bison, the lead guitarist and vocalist of Orphaned. If you want to check it out, I'll have a link directly below the video. Highly recommend it though. It is a blend of HM2 and fuzz. This thing sounds absolutely horrifying, a perfect fit for what you'd expect from something like Primitive Man. As always, you can download the complete Guitar Pro printable PDF and interactive sound slice video tabs for this lesson and every other lesson on the channel on guitar, bass, and drums over at patreon.com/doesitdoom. I'll have a link to that below the video as well. All right, guys, so once again, we are in G sharp standard tuning here. The song is extremely atonal. It doesn't really have a key, but the first riff is kind of in the key of A minor, I guess I would say. Now, one of the interesting things here is we don't actually use a standard root 5 power chord anywhere in the song, but rather relies heavily on a couple different chord shapes. A big part of why Primitive Man sounds the way it does and just how dissonant they sound is they rely heavily on these root minor sixth chords. This first riff here goes like this. The chord progression itself is extremely dissonant. You've got a root, a flat second, a minor third, and then the open, which would be a major seventh. And then of course, once again, you've got these root minor sixth dyads that just sound dissonant themselves. So we're using that first fret, the second fret, the fourth fret, and the open note. And you'll see for the last dyad in that riff, I'm actually using a root flat fifth interval. So rather than your typical root fifth, we're using a root flat fifth. Great riff, just super evil. So for this next section, we're gonna use a bunch of tremolo picking. I'm by no means an expert at this picking technique, but I do use these Hetfield 1mm white fang picks. I just really like the grip texture that is on the pick itself, kind of close to a large XL Jazz 3, I guess. Just works best for me. In terms of developing this style of picking technique, I really just recommend experimenting with different picks, different pick angles, different positions for your hand if closed or open. I'm curious to know, for those of you out there who have developed a tremolo picking technique, what sort of pick do you use? How do you orient your hand in the pick? Let me know down below in the comments. That first riff was in 4/4 time. Now we're gonna switch to 6/8 time, and so we're gonna count the riff like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna start on that root flat fifth once again that we ended the first riff on. Then we're gonna switch to this root minor sixth again here at the 6th fret on the 5th string, and then the 5th fret, once again, same shape on the 6th string. So it goes like this. For the second half of the riff, you're gonna continue to tremolo pick, but the tempo is going to change. It's gonna slow down a bit. The next part goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're gonna slow the tempo yet again. We're gonna switch back to 4/4 time, not quite tremolo picking anymore. So that whole part together. Now for this final riff here, we're gonna use a bit of an inverted power chord shape here, but instead of being root 5th and octave, we're gonna use the minor 6th interval here. So I've got the chord fretted here at the 8th fret on the 5th string and 4th string, and then on the 3rd string, we are up at the 11th fret, and that chord shape is just going to switch down as we play. So. So once again, you can see I'm just taking that entire chord and shifting it down. So my picky is gonna end up at the 10th fret. And then you're gonna play the same thing, just tremolo picked. I want to send out a huge thank you to everyone who supports this channel over on Patreon, with a very special thank you to all of our Riff Lord and Riff Messiah tier producers. For another lesson just like this, you could click the YouTube video directly below me, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, you could do so by clicking the round subscribe icon. So until next time, always remember, Tony Iommi is your friend.